Ohayou gozaimasu. Hey, welcome in, welcome in. Wow, how many people? 151. Welcome in, everyone. All these new chatters, first time. Welcome in, welcome in. We've been running at like 40 to, I don't know, like 60 on a really good day. This is awesome. Thank you guys for showing up. I thought I'd do a stream today because we are doing something a little bit interesting. Usually I stream Friday mornings, always this time. And today I was starting on a new block set. This is the 11th print in the Adolescento Dreams of Future Past. And today I was going to do the key block. This key block is a little bit different from some of the other key blocks we do in that we have not so many lines, and already a subscriber. You guys don't need to subscribe, but I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, there's not so many lines in this one. Most of the interest in this print is coming from the wow. Someone just gifted so many subs. Wow. Mikamura, thank you so much. This is not why I messaged to Dave that like we should do a raid so I can get all these subs. It's crazy. Thank you so much. Definitely the top sub. Thank you so much. We've got to get to the printmaking, guys. You don't need to donate. It's okay. Anyway, so yeah, this let me show you the print. I have two printouts because I printed them on an A4 and get carving. There's always a preamble. We've got to let people arrive in. People don't all drop in at the same time, though. Anyway, this is the image we're doing. I'm not going to show you the full color breakdown. I don't want to ruin the surprise for people seeing it. You will see me do a couple blocks on this, and you can maybe put it together from this print, what we will be making. Obviously, we have a sort of space theme here. There is a little ramen yatai. A little bit of a Cowboy Bebop feel. I'm pretty sure that's where they got it from. The concept, anyway. We're going to flip over to look at the block. Oh no! My camera is not showing up. There we go. Okay, we're all good. We're all good. So I'm going to get to carving. Let me see. Thank you, Jen, for the sub. Thank you so much. You guys really don't need to sub.
Talking too much.
Hi, talking too much this. Ja, let's put some music on and I'll do a little bit of quiet carving. I haven't carved in a little while now. I've been tracing and actually my fingers are a little bit sore from all the tracing I've been doing. I will catch up with your chats in a little bit. Let's get carving. No peel, no, I already did this last night. But the paper came out a little bit fibrous, so I'm going to be using quite a bit of oil. Where should we start? We've got this black object, which will be on another block. Maybe we'll probably leave it in, but we might take it off. And then we've got the borders and the images. This will probably be finished today. I think I'll start with the borders. And we'll add a bit of camellia oil. You can't see any of this. Just a bit of camellia oil. Make these lines a little bit more visible. And this is the only time you'll see me really spinning the block. for the long lines like this, it's nonsensical to try and keep it. There's a bunch of wiggling in these lines as well, so we'll be adding a little bit of that in. Let's get going. How long has it been since I carved last? First cut. You see the slipping there. Actually, I need a new shitajiki. This mat on the bottom is really old and it's not very grippy anymore. Papa-san, thank you so much. And Wheelchair Willie, thank you. Wow, wow, wow. You guys can chill, just enjoy the stream. Something interesting you might notice with the carving, I'm gonna say this up front, is that there will be some times where you will see that I am not carving directly on the line. And a bunch of you might think, oh, he's not very good. But because this is drawn with a brush, as opposed to our standard reproduction work, I have a little bit of freedom to touch up and add some taste into the lines where I think it's lacking a little bit. So there will be points where I won't be exactly on the line. Maybe I'll be cutting into the lines quite a bit. Would you mind sharing this playlist? It's on the Discord. There is a link to the Spotify playlist there. Ruler is too much. We don't need a ruler for this because we don't want completely straight lines. All the prints in this series, they have sort of wiggly borders. They are hand brush borders. There are times, even in Ukiyo, there's lines that are bordered and lines that are not. The Misty Day at Nikko, for example, that is the Yoshida prints. They never have ruled borders. They always have a little bit of taste in the borders. So we're just going to do the around the edges first. When we are, someone, thank you. Someone did mention, do we always start from the outside in? Not always. Where you start on the block is not really very important. You can really start anywhere. But what's important is on any given shape. So if you've got a small circle, for example, you always want to start on the inside of that circle. Curves in particular, you always want to do the inside of a curve first, and then you do the outside, because it's much easier to touch up the outside. That mat gives me anxiety. It's fine. My hand is here stabilizing it, so if it slips, like my whole body's locked in. There's no risk of cutting myself ever with this. And if I was being really particular, I do the inside of these lines first. It really doesn't matter on these sorts of lines. There's like no difficulty difference between the inside and the outside on these lines. But if I was following the same pattern, I'd probably carve the insides first. Someone's posted the Spotify link. Thank you. I'm just wiggling the tip of the knife a little bit, and I'm doing that with just my thumb. It is incredibly hot in this room. I'm already sweating. I have the AC on. We don't want to get into those conversations here. It is incredibly humid. I need the AC mostly actually for my camera because it It overheats. Perfect line cuts. They're all right. I feel a little bit rusty if I'm completely honest. This bit is a little bit boring. Maybe we should have started with something more interesting. All these raiders come in, and then I just go and I cut some straight lines. What's your preferred temperature? Yeah, minus, somewhere in the minuses. I crank the AC as cool as it goes, and then I open all the windows and all the doors. And then that sort of balances out to a nice, like, sort of 26. Pinky, it is a joke. Hey, my straight lines would be more shaky than this. They're quote unquote straight lines. Let's do the insides now. We've done all the outsides. I do have to just pop out all these corners. Something that you will notice is that my camera doesn't have a zoom on it. So if it's your first time here, I bought a macro lens because I wanted to get in nice and close, but I didn't realize it's fixed. So all your gift subs and your subs are going to be put to good use, and we're going to get a new lens. I'm going to use this one for photographing the prints in the future, but I think we will be buying a new lens at some point. Let's see how expensive the UK trip is first. And then we will decide on a lens. We've had lots of good information from people in the chat. So I'll be going through all that information again, and we'll be looking to source a lens that can zoom in nice and close. It's a bit slippy. How is everyone doing? I can like sort of keep up with the chat now. At the beginning, everyone was coming in and all excited. And read any of them. I'll have to go back and read some of them again. Yeah, so the main reason I'm streaming a special stream today is because, yeah, this will probably be finished today. And recently on the streams, all we've been doing is ice ski work. It's just been... I'm a little bit tired of ice ski work on stream. I don't think it's as interesting as the knife work. It's really slipping here. So the blocks Dave was making today were actually supposed to be the ones I was working on. I had one leftover block here, and I mentioned on a previous stream that he had sent a couple samples over, and I tested them, and they seemed like they'd work for this project. The lines aren't too fat, aren't too thin, and so it's doable on maybe not ideal wood. It was hard enough for what we needed anyway. I wouldn't be carving the samurai print I'm working on those blocks, but for this type of work, it's fine. But I actually found another block. Usually when I go collect blocks from Mokahankan, I take, maybe I've got 5 blocks I need to do both sides. Maybe sometimes I can consolidate and I don't need that many blocks. I can like add a couple colors on a single block, so I end up with a spare block. And I typically just keep them in my Mokahankan wood section, which had 2 blocks in it. And one of them was this one, and it's got kind of strong grain pattern. So for any, you can see here these dark green lines. Green is a really good color to look out for in blocks because often the dark green indicates quite a hard block. So I put my knife in it and I actually thought that it felt a little bit harder than the previous wood that I'd sampled. So I got everything prepped yesterday, and last night I glued it down and decided let's just do this today so we're not doing any more risky. So I counted, it's three weeks yesterday until I go to the UK. I'm only going for 10 days or so. I'm not going that long. But those streams probably will be cancelled. I don't think I want to try and do a setup from the UK. And also, I feel like I was thinking about it. I haven't really had a proper break since before my partner got pregnant. He's 1 now, and so I'm really looking forward to the UK actually. We just need to take the little corners out. I don't know why all of a sudden this camera seems quite dark. It was much brighter when I was setting it up. I can't really change the ISO on it on the front. And also last time I did try and do this. Yeah, no. Is that changing on the screen? No, it's not changing on the screen. Going to the UK with a 1-year-old. Yeah. It's a little dark. I think maybe I'm on the wrong setting. So yeah, that's a big thing. We're going to be on a plane for 14 hours with a 1-year-old. He's a good boy, but I don't know if any kid is that good. Everyone on the plane is going to be leering at you. Yeah, I'm really not so excited. I think you're fine. The image doesn't look too dark. Oh, hopefully not. Just aesthetically, it's not great. I think it looks a bit greeny. I mentioned the wood is green, but on my block here, it looks a lot more orangey. Just from these shapes, has anyone actually guessed what the image is about? You know it's space. I'm sure someone can get that. It's not so tricky. We're gonna carve these now. Am I on camera? This wood is kind of hard. My typical streams run the same length as Dave's. I do an hour and a half. So if you are new here, we do Pac-Man. We do streams on Tuesday in the evening. I know a bunch of you are probably very sleepy, if not already slunken off to bed. If you guys need to go, any Europeans here, we do a stream for the Europeans in the evenings on Tuesday for us. It'd be Monday lunchtime for you guys. Ringed gas giant. Good guess. I'm not going to give you the right answer. Pokemon. Ah, okay, I can see it. You're missing the circle in the middle though. I'm not sure how that would really fit in the theme. Space and just a giant floating Pokeball. See? This is a stream for Europeans with scuffed sleep schedules. The insomniacs. European insomniacs. The worst kind of insomniac. It's got to be the Burger King logo. Yeah. Maybe we'll change his hat into a little crown. 2:53 in Germany. Guys, go to bed, honestly. There's VODs for this. I archive everything. You can watch it later. Come back on Tuesday. But you're more than welcome to stay. Thank you. What nice smooth curves here. And if it's your first time seeing me carve, you're coming from Dave's stream, this might look a little bit strange. Why is he using the beveled side of the knife? I use both sides. You have to if you want to carve without turning the block. We can center this a little bit better, can't we? If we got a line here. Wood seems okay. Approaching 3 a.m. Wow. 10 p.m. in Brazil. When you start removing the wood, do you go around the entire edge first? No, I don't do that. That's the last stage for me. I first go around with a U-gouge. So I get like within like 0.5 mil to 1 mil. I go around like this first. Then I clear the large waste wood. And lastly, I come in with the ice ski. The only points I will, like, this is what you're talking about, right? Taking this wood away here. The only points I'll do stuff like this is when I've got particularly delicate lines, or if, like, you see me taking out all these corners as well. These are risk areas because often you don't overlap these quite correctly. It's really easy to not quite get the depth on one side of them, so you can easily rip a line. 354 in Finland. Just leave it on in the background, you can nod off. Big long cut. Cuts like this, as much as possible, you want to try and do them in one nice smooth motion. You usually start halfways though. If you imagine like an X, those are the areas you stop to sort of regroup, recenter, change your body position so you can get that nice flowing curve. And then wherever you cut to, you go back just a little bit. I wish this mat was a little bit grippier. And also when streaming, there's a little bit too many things on the desk. Nice big smooth. Not on one. This is so satisfying when the wood is being removed. It's so satisfying when the wood's being removed. You prefer watching it the other way around. Yeah, I can see that. Well, I'm streaming for fun. This is not actually. Hopefully it's entertaining, but the main goal for me here is to do my work. And do it nicely. go back a little bit, slice in, pull it around. So we're already finished with half of the print. All we have left now is this top half. And you can see why I wanted to do this today. I had to do the work today. And so we would have been left with nothing to cut tomorrow. We are going to have ads in like 30 seconds. I'm sorry, I can't disable them. If we want to stop pre-rolls, we have to run them. So I'll just do some quiet carving for a little bit. Do you think you'll finish these lines today? Yeah, probably. Definitely. Where should we start? We stick on the curves. If you make a mistake and cut something off that shouldn't be cut, are you able to correct it? We can put plugs, and in fact I have a little drawer here with all sorts of little plugs. Let me just grab a few little samples. I've got a drawer here with all different sizes of little pieces of wood, and these are the ones for doing plug type stuff like this if we got a little break. And then I've also got some wider pieces if we need to put like a square in somewhere, if I forget a big section. But obviously, I'm a professional and that never happens. It's been a very long time since I did one of them. I've had a couple on this series, actually. 0 mistakes here yet. On stream, we've had no breakages, and we've had no mistakes, or none that I've shown you. Let's do the little Georgie. Like if I'm not on camera. I cut the outside of this here. I came on the outside of this, but really I should have, if I'd thought a little bit harder, I'd have started on the inside of this. Again, it's not really critical, but if I'm trying to demonstrate proper carving technique. So we're not perfect, but like they work. Where is the X days since last accident counter? That's not a bad idea, you know. Maybe we could do that. How long have I been carving? Like 6 years? Should we just put a counter of 6 years one day? Because obviously we don't make mistakes. The funny thing is, most of you are coming from Dave's chat, and you've all seen mistakes I've made on stream, so they happen. Everyone makes them. Only happy accident? No, I don't believe that. We don't have happy accidents here. If you want the Bob Ross facsimile, you go to Dave's stream. There's no happy accidents here. I don't think Dave believes in happy little accidents either. Oh, the shifting is really annoying me. This weekend, I'll go to Tokyo Hanzo. Well, I've been making prints for 8 years. If I had taken on real carving methods, then I could have become as good as Taryn. Missed opportunity. Your carving's perfectly nice. And it's not just about the training, you know, it's also the person. Your prints are very lovely. You finished that one you were making for the origami print competition, right? Ah, but I'm doing it wrong. There's more than one way to skin a cat. There is the traditional way. And people doing it that way, there's really not that many. So who's right, who's wrong? If most people are doing it one way. Well, I'm here showing the way I do it, so if people are so inclined and want to put themselves through a bunch of hell to learn how to do it this way, they can. Well, a little bit easier than perhaps if they hadn't seen it. You can see that when I'm cutting these circles, a lot of it is body position. The halfway I'll change my body position. This cut down here at the bottom is one of the more tricky ones. One is that you can't really see because your knife is covering it up for me. And the other one is your wrist can't go further than this. You want it to be able to bend back a little bit further. Now block. Just don't lose the tip. No, that doesn't happen. Honestly, like I really don't remember the last time I chipped a blade. That's not me being egoistic. I don't really chip blades much nowadays, if I'm honest. It happens, but usually the cause of that is like a dodgy bit in the wood, or I've sharpened my knife wrong. If I make my knife too thin, can I show you my knife? Here now, this type of knife, it's quite angled, but this, the actual ground bit, it doesn't come too far back. Can I show you another one? Yeah, this is actually the longest one I have at the moment. My things are all carved for different purposes, but they're all general carving tips at the moment. These are like my standard ones, and then this one is a little bit pointier and drawn back a little bit further. These are about 37 degrees, I guess, something like that. And this is my preferred sort of angle. But when you're carving hair and stuff, you'll bring that bevel really far back. The thing Dave mentioned before about Ito-san's knives, where he shaved the top. I asked Asuka Sensei about this, and that's not really a thing in his school, his tradition. The way we reduce the thickness is just to take the bevel back further, and that's usually plenty. Not usually, it is plenty. Quite curious how many people from Dave's chat actually are making their own prints. Would it be all the people in the Discord? There must be some people who don't really deal with Discord. What's the percentage on Dave's chat? Has there ever been a census? You can set up polls and stuff. That might be really interesting for him to set up, and everyone can click like pick an answer. Do you make your own prints? Blah blah blah. Yes, no. That'd be a poll, right? They don't call them censuses. I've tried, but I'm not really but not really much success. I don't have enough patience. Don't have enough patience. How many hours of watching Dave carving have you? I'm sure that takes a certain types of. Well, I guess it's entertainment is a little bit different. I don't think it's about patience, you know. I think it's about eagerness to do it. Like if you enjoy doing something, or if you like really want to do something, I don't think you really think about patience until like you're maybe a few years into it and you've got stress from other work and you're doing stuff like this. I don't think patience really comes in until you're further along. I think it's just eagerness and wanting to do it. But it's cool. Try it. If it's not for you, it's not for you. You can start at small with paper cutting. That's good. Yeah, there's someone we raided a little while ago. I can't remember their name, but they do kiria, which is cutting paper. They did a little portrait of me. It was very cute. Woodblock printing specifically, never done it, unfortunately. But you've done other sorts of printmaking or carving. Where should we move on to? You can see when I said that we'll finish this in a day, that really I wasn't being overly big-headed. There's really not that many lines in this. Oh, that's true. Yeah, Vivid KP is saying when you go into the Discord. So I guess Korigami will have the information on that. For the people in the Discord, at least. Never found. You can try it on any wood. Try it on regular plywood. My first stuff, I went. What was my first piece of wood? I think it was cherry, and I bought a bunch of them just so I wouldn't have to keep going back. But like it wasn't printmaking cherry at all. I've tried a couple times, but for the guy with tremor, it's a bit hard. Oh, that yeah, yeah, that's tough. That's where you start labeling all your prints as sourcesocket work. That's a little dig. I'll be quiet. In a class, I made stuff with what? Particle board. Particle board. As in like MDF, LDF, or something like that. Particle board, chipboard. There's lots of different types of particle board, I guess. Also oil based. Student level tools not sharp. That's the big one, you know. People get all these sets and then you put your knife into the wood and you dip your first blade and you have no idea how to sharpen it. Yeah, a sharp blade makes all the difference. I guess we'll start in this top corner and walk our way down. You'll notice I don't apply the oil to everywhere. It'll start to peel and stuff if you do that. I majored in graphic design a few years back. I've dabbled there. Other forms of printmaking, but liner prints are the only ones where I really gave it an effort. Yeah, I did a little bit of liner prints. I remember a really strong memory. We did some sort of like illustration for a book in my first year of, well, we don't call it high school. Middle school and high school are sort of like combined in the UK. So I guess it would be the equivalent of like maybe second grade middle school. I know. We did some prints there, and I remember I just absolutely loved it. Really, really enjoyed it. It was like right up my street, which makes sense given what I'm doing now today as a job. But I do also remember that I massively gouged into my finger with one of these V gougers. It'd be really interesting to get that. Yeah, I think it was at the final thing. I'd finished, and then I was like, oh, I just need to do a little bit more clearing, get a bit deeper. I was like, slipped and like took something out of my finger. I have a really strong memory of that. For most people, that's probably normal. Like, I wasn't that young. I don't know. Does anyone else have this? This is something. Maybe you'll all think I'm a bit weird for this, but like, I go through really definite stages in my life. And when I reach like one of these critical points, I feel like a new person. Like a lot of me is very different. So almost to the point where like I feel like I could just describe myself as a different human to the person who came before. And then I feel like all my memories get really fuzzy a couple years back when I've like noticed that there's been one of these. Maybe it's just called aging. Maybe I'm thinking way too much into it. But like I have no childhood memories, you know. I have like a couple of scant childhood memories, and none of them are from before like the youngest one is like maybe 5, which a lot of you are going to think I'm nuts. But there's not many. You should interview younger you on, do some hypnosis regression therapy type thing. Maybe to get back on point. Lino printing, yes. It's a it's a really good entry level. I tried going back, you know. I tried doing some liner prints. I also like later on in life I did some liner prints. I used to make t-shirts. So I made some like stamps and stuff to make t-shirts. Used to do silk screening. And I made some stamps, some t-shirts. And I tried to go back. I can't remember why, but I did have it a little dabble like since I started woodblock carving. I can't remember what it was for. Maybe someone had asked me, I just want like a little stamp and I made it. Or maybe it was some branding stuff I was making. And I hated it. I really, really hated it. Maybe it was just the stuff I had. I had a few old blocks, and it wasn't the, you know, some of the liner blocks, they're quite, how do I describe it? Like clay. And they clean away smooth. And then some of the others are more like rubberized. It was one of the rubbery ones, and it felt like gomohanga, like for making stamps. And it was so squishy that like when I put my knife in, it sort of like moved and spread apart, and I hated it. It just felt so unstable. Too much give in it. I needed something solid to fight against. The way you speak reminds me of Brian Cox, the physics professor. Has anyone ever said that before? No. And I'm sure my family would disagree. Maybe I come across... I've been told this as well by people I used to work with. They've seen like my YouTube videos and they saw me talk. They didn't say Brian Cox, but they say soft Taryn comes out when you're on camera. You start speaking really softly. And then I talk to them and I'm like, oh, get over here, you can. Da, 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 da. I don't know. What, there's a word for it, isn't it? Code switching, is that it? Is that right? I'm not super up on all that. I hear Brian Cox also. I guess. Do we like Brian Cox? Brian Cox is cool, right? And here now, we're looking into the depth of the universe. He doesn't really have that accent. How does he sound again? It's been a while since I heard any Brian Cox. And this single grain of sand tells a story that goes so far back. I'm putting like a northern twang on it, but he's very southern accent. I don't know why I'm putting like a, oh, you're right there, Chuck. Lovely to meet you. That's another reason I took my current break from liner cut. I unfortunately had a back-to-back series of absolute awful liner cuts. Unfortunately had a back-to-back series of unfortunate liner cuts. Just awful quality. I've been almost it's been almost 2 years since I last dabbled. Try wood. Wood's the superior medium. Is Brian Cox known in America? I'll think about it. Is this you trying to do an accent in type? Fine supper if I do say so myself. Now what's good? Okay, you weren't playing into the Brian Cox British accent thing. You were just saying you had a nice dinner. Probably by people interested in space stuff. Yeah, he plays the Red Sox. Okay. Yeah, I've seen clips of his videos almost every day, and I'm interested in the space stuff. Yeah, I think that's it. It's a self-selected audience. Known from a movie. He was in a movie. Am I on camera? Not very centered. I saw him as a presenter on some Discovery Channel shows back in the day. Yeah, but that's what he does. He presents stuff. I didn't know he was doing baseball or acting. Banyan, wrong dude. Okay. He's not a physicist. He's just an actor. Okay. At the start of the stream, it's been a little while since I carved. Like actual carving work. I feel like sort of feeling a little bit smoother now. I can start picking up some speed and stuff. You're funny. What did I say? Funny looking. I don't know what it is about having children that ruins your sense of humor. I have become a deeply unfunny person recently. I used to think I was pretty funny guy. I was pretty sharp. Now I just find myself making puns and dad jokes. What was the one I said the other day? It was last night. Anna had never heard it. I did the fungus fun guy thing. And she thought, oh, that's a good play on words. She'd never heard it before. And I was like, no, don't. Please don't. Please don't applaud me for the fungus fun guy. I'll never make a joke again. But there's something about dad brain that just makes you deeply unfunny, I think. I enjoy myself. I'm laughing. I'm having fun, but objectively, it's not good. Probably lack of sleep. Don't encourage me. Yeah. Probably a lack of sleep. That is a great theory. And also, like, you're not interacting with people you can, like, bounce complex ideas off. It's like, oh, this is a book. It's red. And so your humor sort of, like, maybe matches that level of intellect. Do. It's Reed. His favorite thing at the moment is like pulling all the books down, bringing them to me. I'll read the first page and then he'll run off and grab another one and bring that one. Man, camera, not centered. All of us old dad dudes think we're so damn funny. I mean, the whole dad joke aesthetic thing, isn't it? Yeah. I've been having fun with it, but I'm starting to think that, like, I'm actually losing the inability to just, like, be genuinely witty, not just in a dad joke way. And I don't want it's a slippery slope, you know. I've indulged it. When you start doing something, you sort of become the thing that you were doing. If all you do is bad jokes become like your standard. I used to have bants, and now I have puns. Any pool stories? I don't really want to do so many pool stories. Uh, I'm losing a bunch of weight and I'm gaining a bunch of muscle, which is good. I am. I've got really fast, which is good, but it's a problem because most of the people are retirees and finding a lane is very, very tricky. I keep getting in lanes, like standing at the side and just seeing 5 lanes, everyone just like crawling, crawling, crawling. All right, I have to bid you a farewell and wish you all a good night. It's nearly 4 a.m., so I think it's been enough studying for one night. Yeah, thank you. Please come again. If you're in Europe, Tuesday nights are probably much easier for you if you can just like stick it on in the background and work sneakily. That's what we used to do in class. Earphone in the ear like that, just staring at the teacher. Just like, mm-hmm. Thanks for showing. Thanks for coming around. Thanks for sticking. Take care. Losing street cred. Yeah. Let's see what else we missed here. Burn all your dad jokes before your son is old enough to enjoy them. Yeah. Even in Wales. Upcoming camp plans. Yeah, there's a chance we will go camping in Wales, but maybe not. We'll see. It's not out the realm of possibilities. We don't have that many plans, and that kind of suits me just right. The only plan I do have is I've got to sort out. I've still got to send away the application to. Oh, we're at now. I'd break Ken's in 30 seconds. 3 seconds. Okay, we're done. Sorry about that. I didn't warn you about the ad. Yeah, for the UK trip, there's things I still need to plan. I need to still apply to the British Museum for them to prepare the print and like set me a space aside. This is your first time here, then maybe you don't know. I am working on a samurai print at the moment for Mokohankan, and I'm going to be going to the British Museum to see an original copy of it and do an interview with Kapusun-san about some of her work. So I need to write the questions. I'm going to send them to her in advance. It's not going to be a very long interview because I don't have that much time. But I'll hopefully be able to take some footage of the original print and compare some of my traced lines. I've been working on the tracing. It's basically, the key lines are basically done. So I need to prepare the British Museum stuff. And I think I might try and stay at my friend's house instead of getting a hotel. Because hotels in central London, they're kind of dear. First time chatter. I know you have probably talked about this 1,000 times since there are so many people, including me, care to tell us about how you got into woodblock carving, how long you've been doing this. Yeah, that's fine. I have been doing this since the end, like late 2018 is when I made my first prints. And I sort of did work by myself, like for 6 months. Why have I moved on? Off camera. We'll do that after. Well, I'll finish this. I started like 2018, then I did work by myself for like 6 months. In that time, I moved out here to find an apprenticeship. Sent an email to Dave. I got like a stock response that like Um, he doesn't really do apprenticeships and stuff. And I found out about Asuka Sensei. And then I got a little bit nervous that he was going to say the same thing. So I just sort of put my head down and tried to create something nice to show him before I just like, so it wasn't just words. Like, I want to be a printmaker and I've never made any prints type of thing. I showed him a bunch of stuff and did classes for a year, became his official apprentice after that. And see, how long ago did I start? It was in October. Was it the year before last? I became full time because I was still working a day job before. And 3 months ago we started Twitch. That's pretty much that's the rough outline. I lost my job 23. Job 23. Lost your job at 23 or your 23rd job? Wait. Oh, wicked. About. Thank you. Someone was on the info. This section we're working on at the moment looks much like form lines in NW India carving. Really intriguing. Which lines are you talking about? These circles. NW. What does NW stand for? Like the Indian fabric printing one where they just like knock on top. This sort of jumping about the block doesn't really happen when I'm carving by myself. Northwest, okay. That makes sense. When I'm on stream, I think I sort of like get distracted and I run onto autopilot and it just like jumps me about the block. I started this lantern, so we'll finish it. If you are just 23, then you've got so much time. I did so many jobs, so many different jobs. Does anyone have a really interesting job that they'd like to share? One of my more interesting ones was I was on commission selling these things called wicked boomerangs. And I used to stand in Hamleys, which is like the oldest toy shop in Europe, maybe. And in the Science Museum, next to the Natural History Museum in London. And I used to sell boomerangs, like indoor boomerangs, and outdoor ones as well, but doing tricks behind my back and stuff with boomerangs. That's one of the funnier jobs I had. And honestly speaking, it wasn't so much fun. Kids would often like you try and teach them and they just like hold it upside down and launch it. It wouldn't come back, obviously, because it's out upside down. Just fly across and then, because I'm on commission as well, whenever you're not at your thing, you just lose so much money. So if kids are constantly throwing your boomerangs away. So I didn't do that for so long, but there was a guy next to me. He must have been like Eastern European in Hamleys, because I had like a prime spot right in front of the store, like in front of the doors, the entrance to this biggest toy shop in London, in Europe, whatever. Standing on a plinth. And this the guy that was next to me, who was so loud, but like the thing he was selling, it was like, I don't know what it was. It was like some sort of slime thing that you could like blow bubbles into. You had a little straw, you put the slime in it. It's like chewing gum that you can sort of play with. It's a bit more elastic than that. I'm sure the boomerang business will turn around. That's the type of humor we're talking about, Real Chicken Meister. And you don't even have a kid yet. You are going to be cooked when you have a kid. um, if that's your baseline, mate. Yeah, so this guy, this big, burly Eastern European guy, right at the entrance. I was sort of like at the entrance to the right, and he was there, and it was kind of cheap, and it was really easy to like get kids excited about it. And he just shout, "Order bubbles! Order bubbles!" And he just sell thousands a day. Order bubbles, little crazy bubbles. He was like their top salesman. It was a good product as well. Kids don't like boomerangs. Kids aren't into boomerangs, honestly. You have to convince a kid this is cool. It was a tough sale. And I didn't really like the sales aspect of it. It was fun doing tricks and stuff though. Has anyone else had any weird jobs? I've got a few more that we can share, like in drips and drabs. We can reveal. Oh, we're an hour in. I did have something I wanted to a little update from a previous stream. So yesterday. I'm doing the day thing. Everything's yesterday. When was it? Tuesday evening. We had a question in the Discord about carving benches, and I wanted to. I guess it's on the other scene. We'll flip back here to show you. I found some pictures of my old carving bench, and I can show you the legs it has. This is the first bench I made. It was just some thick plywood stuff. And then I can show you what this bench became. Oh no, can't grab the bottom. So this is my first bench, and it had just like a frame on the bottom. It was kind of a little too angled. And then when I got that piece of wood, this purple heart, it became this. And I said I turned the table into the legs, and you can actually see there what I mean by that. This is one of my first carving spots behind a sofa. You can see a practice block there. What is that key block? I think they're just the practice blocks, perhaps. Oh, I know what that print is. You guys won't ever see that print. But yeah, the top there became the legs of my new table. And the hole was really useful. I used to use the hole to keep my my little bench dog. So I take it from the side here. I think I've still got my hole there. My current holes are different sizes, but I used to keep it there, flip it over, and put it back. So that's one of my first setups. Bench dog storage, yeah. Anyway, I thought it'd be interesting for you guys. You can just see all the different circles and practice blocks. All of these are practice blocks, except that one at the back is a print that you guys will probably never see. Years ago, I was selling at craft fair, mostly turned bowls, boxes, etc. A kid proceeded to talk my ear off about how I should make boomerangs. I guess the topic of boomerangs always comes back around. Well done. Well done. The dad jokes are... We're vibing on dad jokes today. OGC, yeah. I'm going to swap out my homemade blade for some commercial blades this fall. What blades are we talking about? I'm anxious to try the greater angle of laminated Japanese steel. Ah, okay. You're talking about these ones. I got this is how I store mine actually. So I got this little washi envelope thing, and I keep my only two left. I keep my fresh blades here. They're not sharp at all. That's where I keep them. I'd like to get that a little bit stored up. I will. I'm going back to the UK. I'm sure William would much appreciate me bringing some blades back. Maybe I'll reach out to him. I got to restock mine anyway, so I'll restock. I'll buy him some blades. I think he'd appreciate that. I think if you're living abroad, it's kind of hard just to get the blades, right? Often you have to buy the knife again. What's your most favorite angle? I can show you my little sticker book. There you go. Oh, secret. These are the angles I use. So for really coarse stuff, you can match these up. So this is, yeah, like I said, it's around the 37 mark. Isn't that cool? I like it. I'm very proud of this sticker. I think they're nice drawings as well. If you'd like some stickers, they are the lowest tier reward system for my Patreon. Shameless self-plug. What's your favorite angle? That 37. Something. My favorite angle would probably be a little bit sharper than this. What have I got? Around this, yeah, that's probably where I like it. If you go too steep, because you want to carve with like Asuka Sensei always says hara de horu, which is like the body of the knife is where you want to carve. You don't want to be carving just on the tip on like a little ice skate. It's really wiggly. But you want to be angling the blade into the wood. So you let the blade trail in front of your hand to like get that angle to be correct. If it's too sharp, the amount you have to trail it so that it's not ice skating is a lot, and it's like kind of uncomfortable when your hand is like stretched out too far. You want it to be like that, just like when it's in the wood, it's got that pressure. How do we show that? So just pull it into the correct position. So something like this is my favorite for like general stuff. Did I misunderstand the question? A cute angle? I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Do you sleep on a normal mattress? Bit of a random question, but I hear Dave's sleeping on a mat. I sleep I sleep on a futon. We have futons. I signed up a couple of weeks ago. Did you? I signed up a couple of weeks ago. When's my sticker going here? Their stickers are sent out 4 times a year with the newsletter. They will be coming out at the end of September, I guess. End of October? End of September. Stickers this time have been the first batches. I sort of just like flew them out in a day or so. These new ones have like caused me a bit of trouble. I'll have to design and redesign. I'm a one-man show here to like send things out on a rolling basis. I'd quit. I really couldn't possibly do that. Keeping track of all that would be just too much. So to do it quarterly, I can like prepare things in the little moments I get free and then compile it all just at the end of like a third month. Still didn't say the angle. I said it multiple times. You're being trouble here. Flyfish, the troublemaker. It's there. It's written on the paper. 37. We need mods to keep flyfish in check, you know. Where were we? One line here. Do the inside of the curve first. Inside. Outside. Inside. What time are we on? We must be coming to the end, actually. 10 more minutes. What else did we need to talk about? I had a couple of things on my list here. On camera. Okay, 37 down, got it. That's my general purpose one, yeah. And I guess if I want something a little bit like rough and ready, I'm just banging in some shapes. Or I'm using like rulers and stuff. I'll use like 45. And then for really like picky things, that other one is about 30, I guess. So this is why we don't need I know Matsumura, they sell like different thickness. This is a 4.5, the width there. But they also sell a bunch of other ones. I think I showed you, did I show you the little 2mm one I had? Completely pointless. Little hard piece of wood there. So I guess tomorrow I will finish this carving today. I'll get round to clearing it as well, probably. So hopefully there'll be no banging tomorrow morning. I'll just be straight into the ice cube work tomorrow. I'm not going to promise a test print on it. I don't think we'll get that far, but maybe by tomorrow evening. That would be a very quick turnaround for a key block. Color separation will take a bit of time. There's probably, I'll have to make them in a certain order because there's a lot of layers that not exactly like match up, but they sort of like stepped. A lot of stepped colors in this one, so I'll have to be careful. I have one that's 6mm. I don't use. I use a 4.5, but honestly, the tip can be the same no matter how wide the blade is. Yeah, exactly. And you're only really cutting with the tip. Speaking of your playlist, we saw the play After Midnight last week, 1920 Harlem Music Spectacular. Yeah, there's some good tunes. I actually added a bunch of songs last night because I noticed it was getting a little bit repetitive on the last one. There was like certain songs that kept coming up. 6mm takes longer to sharpen. It does. There is a benefit to the 6mm ones though. I think Kitamura-san, he's like the top Kyoto carver. I think he uses 6mm knives exclusively, you know. They're not 4.5, they're much wider than that. I don't know, I think maybe they're 6mm. And the benefit to them is that it's much easier to get the flat aligned. Because there is not much metal just on this little portion here, to keep that absolutely flat, it's really tricky. If it's 6mm, you have more steel there, and it wants to stay flat. Like flattening the back, placing the back on the stone, there's so much surface area that it stays really flat, really easy. You don't need to like struggle to keep it. But when there's only a little bit there, that becomes really finicky to keep that flat and not have it rock at all. So the 6mm means that it stays much flatter when you're doing that. So there's benefits. Personally, I don't think I'd ever enjoy using a 6. It feels like too coarse tool. I think it'd give me like the wrong sort of mood mindset. Well, you get used to anything, obviously, but it would feel like a rougher tool, and I think my carving would probably be rougher because of it. This feels more like a scalpel. All about the tip. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So if you are doing your own carving and you keep noticing your blades chipping, the big one would be reduce that bevel length. It's been a fun stream today. We're nearly at the end. A couple more minutes. If you've got any questions, throw them in now. I can see if I can answer them. We'll just do a little bit quiet carving. I'll be going for my swim in like an hour. Nothing else really to report. Or not stuff we can do in 2 minutes anyway. I read too much, Dave. There's an ad incoming. 20 seconds. I'm on it. It's kind of bad timing, actually. Nearly done. I'll answer your question after the ads. Okay. Let's read this question. Just out of curiosity, are you planning to experiment with the shades for the next round of Yoshida Nico printing? I think it's kind of set. Dave doesn't really like the print changing. He gets really nervous about like changing the colorways. In the olden days, the Yoshidas, they played around a lot with the colors. They like made a light one, made a different one, and they didn't really worry so much about the batches being similar to each other. They were much more free in that way. And Mukankan's sort of principle is that like the image in the catalog doesn't really change, and we want to reproduce that. There's plus minus to both. Like I obviously overall, ad break ends in 20 seconds. I started talking during the ad break. It didn't show up. You can watch the VOD. We don't have much time to go all through this again. The short answer is probably no. It will inevitably grow as and improve like the color tones and balances as people print it more. They get more familiar with the blocks and how to manipulate just how far they can push one color without it affecting another color too much. Like that type of stuff will happen. So I don't know. I'm guessing it will stay very similar to it is now. I don't get ads when you warn us about them. Could have been time zone. I don't think it's time zone. I think I don't put enough ads on, and if you don't put enough ads on, then some people get served pre-roll ads and stuff like that. I've got pre-rolls turned off, but if I want to completely disable them, I think I'd need to run like 3 minutes of ads, but I think that's way too. That's too much of an interruption in the middle of the stream. So I put it as like low as I can, that it also balances out so that people mostly don't get pre-rolls. Anyway, it's still a balancing act. I'm not actually watching the stream, so I don't actually know what people's user experience is. Let me know. I think we'll leave it there. We've got most of the top section and the bottom section done. I'll be doing some of this. Maybe I should have just worked on the center. That might have been more interesting. Anyway, it's done. Dave needs ads. How can we help? He doesn't want ads. He won't do ads. Don't even bother asking. Nice progress. It's okay. So. Yeah, we'll be able to tell how much progress I got tomorrow when we're here again. If you are here from the raid and this is your first time, thank you so much. I just want to say thank you to the people who subbed. We had so many subs today, and we have bits. Hardcore Alpha, I missed you, gave bits. Wheelchair Willie, thank you. Papsan, Jean, Mandarb, Oh, Morris, thank you so much. Woohoo. Who else? Mikamuka. I can't see these. I need to reduce this chat. Gave out 10. Mikamuka, thank you so much. Yeah, I can't see anyone else, but I know there was a few. But I think all the other people I caught during the time. I think we got it all. So thank you so much. If you've enjoyed the streams, come back. If you're European, you should be asleep. But if you're not asleep or you're watching the VOD, please come back on Tuesday. 9:30 p.m. Japan time on Tuesday and 9:30 a.m. Tomorrow. It was a fun stream today, and again, thank you to Dave for the stream. It's almost like the start time was planned very, very well by someone, so that perhaps something like this could happen in the future. This has been our first time to coach your streams. I really enjoyed it. Thank you, Sparky Ninja. It was a fun one. Yeah, I think we'll leave it there. Should we do a raid? Let me just see who is.
とてもサンキュー。
とても thank you to you too. ありがとうございます。Do you guys know Drawfee? Drawfee alive now. Well, not Drawfee, but the Secret Sleepover Society. You guys like art. They were really good at the stream, but right now I think they're just playing games. とても thank you. ありがとう. Thank you for the stream. Yeah, no, thank you. No, we won't do it. Games, it's not right. I think we'll leave it there. Thank you so much. I'm going to go. Bye. I will do. I'll have a nice stream. Swim. Bye.